Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. We all know that it is very easy for all of us to judge someone by their character, by how they speak, by how they behave, by how they deal with problems. It is very easy to make these assumptions. But most of the times, these judgments that we make are not always the correct, right? Sometimes we think about a person as, in a way, this person is good, either good or bad. But later we realize that they are not as good as they are. They are not they are not as bad as they look, right? So the judgments that we make are not always correct. But to deal with people, to be with people, to make relationship with people, we need to understand people. Somehow we need to have a good idea about who the person is, but it takes a very long time to understand. So today from this video, I'm going to share some valuable facts from the Buddha that was preached by the Buddha about how to make judgments, how to predict a person, how to understand the character of a person. The Buddha explained this in a sutra in Anguttara Nikaya. The Buddha says, by living together with a person, his virtue can be known, and this too only after a long time, not casually. By close attention, not without attention. By one who is wise, not by one who is stupid. Now what Buddha means by this is that if you need to understand someone's virtue, someone's life moralities, someone's ethical behaviors, you need to take a good time to understand it. You can't just look at a person and judge by their actions and how they behave, right? The Buddha says this to be known, the virtue can only be known, this too only after a long time, not casually. So what Buddha invites all of us to do is to take a good time. You deal with the person by being with that person, by living together with that person. You will gain some idea about their virtue, right? How trustful they are, how they behave. But this too take a long time. So what Buddha tells from this is to not to be panicked, to understand or to make judgments about a person. And then the Buddha says, pay close attention, not without attention, right? If you didn't pay attention to their virtues, you may not be able to understand that person. And also the Buddha says, a person can be known, their virtues can be known only by who is wise, not by one who is stupid, right? So you need to be very wise when you understand about someone's character. And also the Buddha says, by having dealings with a person, his integrity can be known. And this too only after a long time, not casually, by close attention, not without attention, by one who is wise, not by one who is stupid. So the Buddha says their integrity, right, their character, how faithful they are, or how loyal they are, right, how trustful they are, only you can understand about this after a very long time. And then the Buddha says about a special thing. The Buddha says, in misfortune or in misfortune, a person's fortitude, a person's patience can be known. And this too only after a long time, right? How to judge someone's patience? When they experience misfortune, when they are going through adversities, when they are going through difficult times in their life, only we can understand how patient they are, how much they have practiced this patience, how much courage and how much grit that they have in their life, right? But this also to what? You need to take a good time. It's not easy for all of us to understand about a person with a short period of time, right? You may think, okay, I understood the person, but it is not, right? Human minds are so much complicated and so much complex when it comes to understanding, right? It's not easy to understand. That is why the Buddha said the difference between animals, like the other animals and humans, is that the other animals, they express their mistakes, they express their weaknesses. But humans, it is very difficult. The Buddha himself says that it is very difficult to deal with humans. It is very difficult to understand a human. Why? Because a human will always cover their weaknesses. They hide their weaknesses. So it is not easy to understand. So what Buddha means by all this sutra is that you can't judge a person by just casually. You have to take a good time. You have to be patient. You have to have a good mind of understanding to take a good idea about that person is, right? And also then the Buddha says how to judge a person's wisdom, how wise they are. The Buddha says by conversation a person's wisdom can be known. And this too only after a long time, not casually. And by close attention, not without attention. By one who is wise and not by one who is stupid, right? So to understand someone's wisdom, how to understand how wise they are, you have to have a good conversation, deep conversations about life. And also, you have to take a good time to understand their wisdom, okay? Because sometimes the people who appear to be wise, people who appear to be good are not always as good as they look, right? So I hope you got some idea about how to judge and how to understand a person's character. So I would like to end this video with a wonderful quote by Mrs. Dow Santamata. In her quote, she says, "It is easy to judge. It is more difficult to understand. Understanding requires compassion, patience, and a willingness to believe that good hearts sometimes choose poor methods. Through judging, we separate. Through understanding, we grow." So I would like to invite all of you to not to be too quick to judge someone, and do not judge a book by its cover. So take a good time to understand about people. Take care. Namo Buddhaya.